Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the NextGen Showcase live stream. Before we get started today, we're going to play a short video to get you all a bit introduced to the NextGen Showcase program. So, roll it.
The NextGen Showcase is a way for the next generation of themed entertainment professionals to build up their skills. To understand how this came to be, we have to go back to 2018 and the TEA Sate at Europa Park. It all started when Laura Morakowitz and Alex Cording took a handful of enthusiastic young professionals under their wings and helped them gain experience on a fictional themed entertainment project. This approach proved to be successful. It was evident that employers were actively seeking candidates with experience working in diverse international teams. Skip forward a few years, and another group of driven youngsters feel that their education is lacking a practical element, a sense of mentorship and real hands-on experience. So, in 2022, together with Laura, they started the NextGen Showcase, with the aim to make the themed entertainment industry more accessible for the next generation.
Offering a NextGen project fulfills a need on so many levels that are beneficial to our industry as a whole. Not only does it identify candidates who are passionate but committed to getting into the industry, being good at what they do, understanding the full scope of what they're getting involved in.
Everybody with a passion for the themed entertainment industry can apply, not just students. This makes for teams diverse in culture, language, age, background, and personal interests. Over the course of 10 months, the teams go through 3 phases: blue sky, concept development, and schematic design. Throughout these design phases, the initial brief evolves into a fully featured themed entertainment concept, showcasing each team's skill and dedication. Throughout the process, the teams are mentored by industry professionals to help them along the way. Every week, the participants are also invited to an education session, in which a seasoned industry professional provides the participants with an insight into their work and the processes that go into developing themed entertainment concepts. This involvement of industry professionals, both as mentors and in the educational sessions, gives participants a look into the inner workings of the industry and provides them with real-world examples. By working on their concepts, the participants gain valuable skills ranging from prioritizing tasks to understanding how their role contributes to a team effort. Over the past 2 years, we've had 150 participants join us from 16 countries. 20 mentors have guided their teams, and we met up at 9 in-person events.
The NextGen Showcase has definitely been an amazing learning opportunity to get a first glimpse of what it means to work in projects for themed entertainment.
The friendships and connections that I've created on this journey have been absolutely valuable and an amazing way to get into the industry.
For me, the showcase has been instrumental in helping me to identify the ideal job path that I want to take within the themed entertainment industry, and most recently has helped me to secure my dream career and a job that I look forward to starting very soon.
To summarize, the NextGen Showcase provides motivated individuals a chance to gain real, hands-on experience, whilst allowing them to build up their network. It bridges the gap between education and industry, making the themed entertainment industry more accessible and inclusive.
Hey, happy to see everybody today, and thank you so much for joining us and making time in your day for this really exciting presentation. I've got a bunch of people here who've worked really hard over the last 10 months. And I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the small army it's taken to support them along the way. First, you have Emma Bashford, who's with me this evening as part of the management team, as well as Lars van der Krummert. They're both going to share hosting duties. So that you know, amongst the three of us, and actually 2 others that should be mentioned is Katie Baker and Ryan's Sam Marshall, who were very helpful early on and saw us through several events and are always present. So we're thrilled to have them involved as well. This time around, we had 83 participants. That's 30 more than last season. So we're very excited about that. And it's taken 14 mentors with weekly interaction to help them through this process, in addition to 30 plus generous speakers who provided their time and their expertise on a variety of topics that saw the teams also through the process of designing a themed entertainment attraction and some area development. just to throw that in the mix. We'd also like to thank our client panel. We had some great folks this year from different backgrounds, very helpful to have so many different perspectives for the teams. They got such an array of questions and positive feedback, always very supportive, but realistic. There were challenges along the way, things like, oh, would you mind changing the ride system? We all love that one. So, but really helpful panel. But we'd also like to thank very much our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to put on the 11 events that we did for our participants this year, or participate as actively as we were able to at the IAPA Expos. So we'd like to thank SimWorks for being a patron sponsor. Thank you very much, Terry. And EuroVision, Jan, thank you for being an educational sponsor. And then our supporting sponsors are Atelier Artistique du Patin, Alterface, Creative Studio Berlin, and Park and Associate Projects. Thank you all very much. We couldn't have done so much without you. So over to Emma to give you an idea of what our teams were designing too.
Hi, everybody. So the brief this year was TerraTopia, a fictional zoo park in a fictional European country called EuroSana. So the park is shifting its focus away from animal exhibits and amusement rides towards conveying a message of conservation. Following a recent rebranding of TerraTopia, they hope to reach an attendance of 1 million guests within the next 5 years, following their new tagline, "Feel the Power of Nature." So the park plans to build on an expansion plot, next slide please, thank you, between the existing wetlands and mountains areas, which house various animals and an aviary show. They intend to make a significant investment into a new experience, which does not contain new animal exhibits, but educates families about the wonders of our natural world. In order to do this, the teams were provided with a market study by a very generous feasibility expert. Margaret, thank you. This included a park overview, site analysis, available markets, a local market assessment, and attendance analysis. So there was really a lot to consider at the start of the project, and we aim to make this brief as realistic as possible. Next slide, please. So in summary, the brief was to create a new family experience in this central site, proposing a unique, exciting, shared family experience of any type, and carefully considering the provided market study and planning restrictions. In addition to that, they had to develop the surrounding area. This included integrating a transitional area between the adjacent mountains and wetlands areas. At the same time, they had to preserve existing guest thoroughfares, animal exhibits, and back-of-house facilities. This was all done whilst providing educational, entertaining, and reflective experiences for the whole family, including food and beverage and retail opportunities. So without further ado, let's get started. Laura, would you like to introduce the first team?
I certainly would. We will hear now from Aurora Studios.
Hello, and welcome to Aurora Studios' presentation of Naturalia, a land expansion designed and prepared exclusively for TerraTopia Park. We have been hard at work developing the land of Naturalia, along with attractions, retail, and food and beverage offerings within the land. We are so excited to share this concept in its entirety with you today. The Forest of Naturalia is nestled between the mountains and wetlands of TerraTopia. It's accessible by the southwest gate, connecting the forest to the wetlands, or the north gate near the mountains. Entering the forest through the north gate reveals a breathtaking view of the waterfall that is the heart of the Naturalia forest. But this is no ordinary forest. Long ago, Naturalia was the site of a magnificent botanical garden created to capture and replicate the beauty of the natural forest. When the plants were not able to thrive in the artificial man-made environment, the garden was abandoned. This left the forest to grow, thrive, and reclaim the land without being encumbered by human interference. The balance and harmony called out to the spirit of Mother Nature, and she decided to make her home in this section of the forest. Guests most often see the spirit of Mother Nature represented as butterflies, and are able to engage with Mother Nature's playful spirit by interacting with the natural elements of the land. Wave at resting butterflies to see their wings flutter. Play with the motion-activated kaleidoscope of butterflies in the trees, and make sure to listen carefully to those interesting rocks and roots to hear whispers of the story of Naturalia. Throughout Naturalia, guests will see examples of how the natural and man-made elements of the forest have combined to create a unique, one-of-a-kind setting, and be encouraged to make responsible decisions that help the environment, such as recycling plastics and using solar panels as a renewable energy source. Guests can experience the restorative powers of nature in the grove. This section of the forest is defined by small hills and elevations which create a multi-leveled area where guests can relax, away from the stimulation of the rest of the park. The grove has a few simple interactive elements throughout it, including water features. On the edge of the grove sits a cart that sells retail items that guests might need in the moment for a picnic, such as bite-sized snacks sold in compostable packaging and reusable cups that guests can refill at a discount during their visit. Deep under the forest of Naturalia runs a network of caverns. Here, Mother Nature allows the guest to experience echolocation. The special echolocation devices allow visitors to hear when they are closer to or further away from objects, just like bats do. In the burrows, guests have the opportunity to explore different forest habitats, such as caves, tunnels, and trees through an immersive, accessible playground. In addition to attractions, Naturalia also offers food, beverage, and retail locations. What was formerly a rose garden greenhouse has been repurposed into a restaurant. Guests can grab a quick snack to go or relax at one of the tables. The menu features vegan and vegetarian takes on classic theme park fare. All of the ingredients used in the restaurant are sustainably and ethically sourced. Located inside the abandoned butterfly house is the retail shop. This shop sells general park merchandise and items specific to Naturalia and the animals featured in the main attraction of the land, Conservation Quest. Conservation Quest is the main attraction in Naturalia, built on the Vekoma suspended dark ride system. With a max speed of 3 meters per second, 360-degree rotation, and built-in support for interactives and onboard audio, we found this system to be ideal for carrying families through the forest attraction. On this interactive dark ride, Mother Nature enlists you to act as a conservationist to search an area of the forest that is still recovering after human interference in order to discover what animals are currently living there. After entering through the greenhouse, you twist and turn through the forest. As the sun begins to set, you find yourself in a forest clearing where Mother Nature speaks to you, explaining more about your quest as a conservationist. She specifically asks you to keep an eye out for beavers or bison as you search the forest. Discovering these animals will mean that the forest ecosystem is close to being fully restored. You move from the clearing into the loading station to board your cocoon, and Mother Nature instructs you on how to use your lantern to search the forest. The Alterface Salto TM show control system is what brings this attraction to life. The light from the vehicle-mounted lanterns combines Gantum LED spotlights with invisible infrared lasers that trigger the animatronic set pieces, causing the forest to move, play sounds, or emit special effects, all in reaction to being lit by the guests' lanterns. After practicing using your lantern in Naturalia, the spirit of Mother Nature transports you to the section of the forest that is still healing. You begin your search on the forest floor, where you encounter a variety of animals, until your path forward is blocked. The Vekoma ride system allows for both vertical ascent and descent, which is utilized to lift Conservation Quest riders into the second story of the attraction so they can explore the trees. As you float back towards the forest floor, fireflies dance around your cocoon, but the cocoon doesn't stop when it touches down on the forest floor. Instead, it dips into a tunnel underground populated by insects and other animals. Emerging from the tunnel, a small stream leads you out of the forest towards a river. The river is populated with beavers and bison graze near the water's edge. Mother Nature reacts with great joy, explaining how this means that the forest ecosystem is now fully balanced again. As Mother Nature transports you back to Naturalia, she thanks you profusely for your help and encourages you to continue to act as a conservationist by preserving natural habitats everywhere. And this is just the beginning. Aurora Studios has developed a vast array of technical documents detailing the development of Conservation Quest, including layouts, sightlines, placement diagram, and detailed elevations showing animatronics and scenery. We've also created technical documents concerning the area development of Naturalia, including master plans detailing features like lighting and signage locations, emergency circulation, and back-of-house spaces. Many of these documents can be found on the Aurora Studios section of the NextGen website. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Just to step in here, we are having a couple of technical difficulties. So for the time being, what we're going to do is we're going to jump to Team 2, and then we're going to collate all the questions and hopefully do the Q&A for Team 1 and 2 after Team 2's video. So I'm going to play Team 2's video. Thank you.
Good morning! DJ Hertz here with your breakfast show, coming at you live from the studio tent just outside the cave entrance. Are you all ready for another day of exploring? Grab your mission packs because today's underground adventures are about to begin. Oh, and don't forget, we've got some very special guests visiting today, so please join me in giving them a very warm welcome to Camp Geo!
In Camp Geo, guests will be invited to join the Global Explorers Organization, a group of ingenious geologists, fearless zoologists, and subterranean explorers whose mission is to explore and conserve Earth's unseen habitats hidden deep beneath our feet, and have a lot of fun while they're doing it. They've built their research base at the entrance to a spectacular underground cave network, where they live, work, and hang out together. Camp Geo is where the surface world and the underground worlds meet. Half of the area is outdoors, themed with spectacular geological features, imposing rock archways, and stylish tented structures. The other half is indoors, housing food and beverage, retail, and our indoor walkthrough attraction, Vaults of the Earth. Our hero attraction, Trailblazer, ties the whole area together. The entire concept is shaped around our creative vision, whose key values are creating curiosity about underground habitats, telling the story of a community of interesting and unconventional characters, and wonder, at parts of nature not displayed anywhere else in the park. Nature has many different underground habitats. From ice caves to volcanoes, guests will experience a range of subterranean environments as they explore Camp Geo's caves, which are filled with crystals, stalactites, and hints of ancient life. Our walkthrough attraction, Vaults of the Earth, allow guests to explore and play in these otherworldly habitats, including a large playground and a magma chamber, and interactive games that let guests learn more about the weird and wonderful plants and animals that dwell in the darkest depths of the earth. Geothermal Cafe is our quick service restaurant where we harness the energy locked deep within the earth and use geothermal heat pumps to cook the food, fitting with the theme and enhancing sustainability. The delicious menu caters to all tastes, offering guests a range of geologically themed foods, including tectonic toasties from the grill or a rockaccino from the coffee counter. Cavern Markets is our retail space, where kids can create their own gemstone necklace and bracelet, or DIY kits such as growing their own crystals. The hero attraction of Camp Geo is Trailblazer, a launched family roller coaster with a strong narrative integrated into the area's concept. Camp Geo's lead scientist, Dr. Stone, needs some help. Her team has found evidence that there may be brand new species of microorganisms in one of the deepest caves near Camp Geo. She needs volunteers to ride the camp's all-terrain exploration vehicle into this challenging underground environment, so she can run a proper scan for evidence of these rare creatures. After being briefed by Dr. Stone, guests journey up the mountainside and weave through the landscape. They enter a dark, foggy cave, and the vehicle's high-tech scanners spring to life, scanning every surface. All of a sudden, the cave starts to rumble. Alarms starts blaring. Magma starts bursting through the walls. The lights go out. The vehicle plummets down into the darkness. Swirling patterns of light begin to emerge from the walls, and the explorer's way out is lit by bioluminescent glowworms. Launching out of the cave and bursting through a geyser, guests take a wild ride around the camp before returning safely back to the workshop. Dr. Stone downloads the scan data and confirms it shows a brand new species living deep in the cave. The 850-meter track has been designed to be fully integrated into the layout of the area without overwhelming the guest experience. Trailblazer has a height requirement of just 95 centimeters. To make this attraction accessible to as many guests as possible, we have added a wheelchair crossing platform at the back of the train, meaning non-ambulant guests will be able to experience it in full. Our schematic design package provides extensive further details, including a breakdown of ride scenes and tech, master plan, evacuation routes, brand guidelines, costume designs, and much, much more. Now, we invite you to take a ride on Trailblazer through our white box model. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and enjoy the ride.
And then I'll say something on the thing.
What?
Thanks for volunteering on this mission. I'll be driving the vehicle remotely, so all you need to do is keep an eye out for any signs of life. Engaging mountain climbing mode. I've programmed in the target coordinates. Now, let's go. This looks like the place. Activating scanners. That was a close one. Let's get you home. We've downloaded your scan data, and it looks like you've discovered a whole new species living down there. You've definitely earned your place in Camp Geo. We would like to thank our entire team for working so hard on Camp Geo over the past few months. And also a huge thank you to our incredible mentors, Iona and Nicola, the NextGen Showcase team, and the client panel who have all provided invaluable feedback and guidance. We are Color Spectrum Creative Studio. Thank you for your time, and we welcome any questions about the Camp Geo concept.
Best bet.
Hello everyone. Sorry about those technical problems. These things are very difficult to get right, especially when things are live. So our apologies for those issues. Well done to Team 2. Wasn't that amazing? First off. And if you have questions, please leave them in the chat and we'll come back and try to do Q&A after all of the teams have presented. So we're going to show each team in order, 1 through 7, and then we'll do Q&A. So if you're leaving a question in the chat, just tell us which project that was for. So yeah,
that's great.
I think we're all good.
All right, terrific. Then without further ado, if they're queued up, we'll go with totally immersive projects.
Hi there. We are Totally Immersive Projects, and we would like to welcome you all to Shrinktopia, our proposal for TerraTopia's new expansion. In Shrinktopia, guests shrink down to discover the world of the animals we tend to overlook, even though they are vital for our ecosystems, the insects. During the concept phase, intensive research was carried out to understand various types of insects and their way of living. We learned of the serious impact everyday human actions can have on them. So, we turned it around and defined our tagline for the project as
"Small gestures can make a big difference."
Through Mara's voice, our shrunken hero who lives in Shrinktopia with her sidekick, Roly-Poly, we would like to convey the message of EuroSanian insects that large change can be brought about through small steps, even in ordinary places, like the backyard of an older couple, Maria and Marcus. Alright, let's dive in. Shrinktopia is split by a river, which serves as a division between the untouched part of Shrinktopia, where nature can thrive on its own, and the area that the humans have already started transforming into their low-maintenance backyard. The area has 2 entrances, a large gate formed by an enormous plant, and the flower passage, where guests shrink down gradually as the world around them grows and grows until flowers and weeds have become a lush jungle and insects 30 times their normal size. Here, guests will find a dark ride, a multi-sensory walkthrough attraction, and an interactive water playground, along with 3 F&B units and 2 retail shops. Shrinktopia is all about ingenuity and repurposing what the garden and its owners have to offer. Guests will find familiar items from their everyday lives to remind them of the scale. For example, in the signage, our benches, trash cans, and carefully designed and selected themed lightings are all natural-looking elements blending into the area, like nature's gifts, waiting to be discovered. Employees further emphasize the sense of exploration with their ranger-style outfits. Following the collection of recipes Mara has gathered during her travels, our chefs at Udeberto's, a sit-down restaurant, have been hard at work in the kitchen to create authentic meals where no tomato goes to waste. Guests searching for a quick bite can head over to Gorgrub, a gourd-shaped kiosk where they can pick up classic EuroSanian favorites and casual plant-based dishes, while those looking for a cozy place to recharge can visit the Jitterbug, our coffee shop sheltered in Mara's hideout, which is a cafeteria featuring the amazing life cycle of beautiful and enormous butterflies. Wow. The organic waste produced will be turned into fertile soil for the plants of Shrinktopia as part of a smart waste management system. Mara's Ways is a walkthrough attraction where guests can discover more about Mara's life. They get to explore her home, which is a set of odd buildings representing her active and adventurous lifestyle. Through her notes, drawings, and trinkets around the place, visitors can get a clear picture of who Mara is and her close relationship with the bees, as they were her first friends in Shrinktopia and taught her a lot about their little ecosystem. Drawings tell the story of the bees, helping her discover Marcus's plan to transform the garden and her solution to stop him. Continuing down the path, guests encounter an enormous slug, the inside of which is covered with a web of hexagon-shaped openings. This is the honey plant, which local bees have set up thanks to Mara. Through her old notes, reminders, and warnings carved into the wax walls, visitors will learn about bees' day-to-day operations and how they produce their delicious products. In this multi-sensory experience, guests can participate in an interactive game called Dance Like a Bee, where they have to guide a bee through movement and edutain in snippet on the bee's amazing abilities. Guests may also visit an adjacent relaxation spot formed around the footprint lakes that showcase the human's presence in Shrinktopia. At the exit of this walkthrough, guests can visit the Finders Keepers Club, which provides clothing and accessories dedicated to Mara's signature upcycling habits. Our main attraction is Mara's Garden Rescue. It is set in an enormous tree stump that hosts an anthill and its colony of ants. In this 4 minutes and 54 seconds long dart ride, Mara asks for guests to help stop Marcus from transforming the garden, as it would threaten Shrinktopia in many ways. Manufactured by Italian vendor Gossetto, it features 11 scenes with a short outdoor section. It accommodates 10 ride vehicles, each with a capacity of 4 riders, for a THRC of 411 people. The use of heat pumps spreads the heat generated by the ride tech evenly throughout the ride building, and it also features a green roof, providing a great living space for insects. After the queue line snaking through the inside of the anthill, guests arrived at the pre-show, where Mara lays out the situation and her plan. Speaking of which, I'll hand it over to Mara and our insects friend. They'll guide you to the ride.
Listen up, everyone. I have some bad news. Marcus, the human, wants to transform Shrinktopia, our beautiful home, into a desert human garden. There is no time to lose. Let's open a leaf and get going. Friends, take your seats. We needed to find the butterflies. He's coming. Quick, go hide in the boxes. Hey everyone, we're almost there. Oh no! Pesticides! Here they are. We've finally reached the butterflies. Let's wake them up. Careful! Lawnmower!
The escaping butterflies manage to catch Marcus's attention, making him realize the devastation he has been causing. He decides to change his ways.
Things have changed for good here. Thank you so much for your help.
At the exit of the ride, in Under the Pot, our main retail shop, guests can pick up their own roly-poly plushies and a range of ride-themed items. I love them. We truly hope that you enjoyed your tour of Shrinktopia. We would like to express our immense gratitude towards our mentors, Laura Marakovitz and Alberto Bertini, for the guidance and continued support throughout this exceptional project. Alright, this has been Totally Immersive Projects. Thank you for your time.
Oh, Laura seems to be muted, but congratulations to Team 3. Great job. So, are you guys ready for Team 4? Should I play the video? Off we go.
Welcome to our presentation for The Giant's Call. Here at Conors Productions, we've been working hard to create a concept that addresses every aspect of TerraTopia's brief. We're excited to share the story and experiences we've created for this land, all of which have been designed to evoke feelings of awe, wonder and harmony within our guests. Having travelled far to a remote village where both the living and the spiritual realms intertwine, guests are invited to celebrate the circle of life. The residents of this land, known as the Keepers, built the village to honour the legendary whale spirit, which is simply referred to as the Giant. Keepers from all different places have travelled far and wide to reach this village to live in harmony with nature. Unfortunately, the celebration is cut short by a distressed whale call that can be heard echoing throughout the land. The Keepers believe it's a call for help coming from the Giant. With the help of the guiding spirits, guests must travel to the bottom of the ocean to try and rescue this long-lost spirit whose presence brings peace and protection to the village above. In order to begin the journey, guests will find themselves exploring the Keepers' village, a bustling hub that teems with life. Here, the importance of the circle of life is expressed around every corner as the Nordic architecture breathes new life into old objects. This ideology is carried forward into the construction of the project itself, as any trees that have to be cut down for the development are going to be repurposed into the land's wooden signage. This relationship with nature is also expressed in the uniforms of those who work here too, their details focusing on the nautical and sustainable values of the land. Within the village is the Keeper's Market, which is home to a wide variety of stands and stalls that provide a taste of the many different cultures that reside in the area. If it isn't your appetite that you've come to satisfy, guests may instead discover stalls with handmade souvenirs, or you can head to the Spirit Workshop, where you can craft your very own guiding spirit. As guests make their way through the village, it will be clear that there's plenty of celebration in the Giant's Call, much of which is done in the entertainment hub. This mixed-use space can be adapted based on crowd levels and staffing availability to hold multiple streetcars and performers. Nearby, located in the centre of the land as a focal point, is also an optical illusion well sculpture. Whilst primarily acting as a photo opportunity, it also helps improve the guest flow, as to view the complete rock formation, you must walk towards the village. The Giant's Call is a place for everyone from every walk of life, and we wanted this to be clearly reflected in the design of the land. Thanks to its gradual ramps and carefully placed elevators, the entire land is accessible. We intentionally place certain structures closer together so that they can share facilities. For instance, the lift in the lighthouse can be used for the adventure trail, underground restaurant, and the main attraction. Another design issue we tackled was the common problem that many dark rides have, which is struggling to communicate to guests what they're about to experience. For the Voyage of the Lost Spirit, we fixed this issue by adding in water windows. For the adventure trail, guests will have the opportunity to see the ride vehicle before they've even stepped in the queue. To access the ride itself, guests must journey deeper into the village, following a mysterious sound, the same distress call that the keepers have been hearing. Following this call, guests will pass an old shrine dedicated to the giant before stumbling into an expansive cave. Shafts of daylight filter in through the ceiling, creating a gradual transition to the indoor environment. During an actor-led pre-show, guests are introduced to the story with the help of the land's friendly guiding spirits. These small but powerful creatures have magical abilities that will help guide the guests on their journey. With the queue located above the ride, guests will then move downstairs, ready to board their trackless ride vehicles. For Voyage of the Lost Spirit, we decided to use ETF's Experience Mover. Its design allows for guests of all ages to experience the ride, as it does not require a height requirement. After leaving the station, the ride vehicles head towards a large rock formation featuring elaborate drawings depicting the giant. We hold for a moment observing the cave art when suddenly the guiding spirits make their first sound, almost as if they're singing to themselves. The cave art begins to move before our eyes, with the wall in front of us cracking and moving upwards, starting our descent to the bottom of the ocean. Our boats continue to explore just below the water's surface, where guests can see fellow travellers looking in from above. After seemingly hitting a dead end, the guiding spirits light up the room, helping bring back life to the previously dead coral. After hearing another more defined whale call, the guiding spirits attempt to steer us towards the sound. Due to a strong current, guests are accidentally swept into a nearby ship wreckage. Trapped in this dark room with very little light to guide us, our vehicles slowly spin around looking for an exit, but failing to find one. Amongst the wreckage, small glowing eyes peer into the scene. Suddenly, illuminated by beams of light, the outline of a great whale appears and swoops above our heads, using screens hidden in the ceiling above. The giant has come to rescue us. With the help of other sea creatures, the wreckage is cleared, allowing us to swim away freely. We spin out of the ship's opening into a large ravine, and using a parallax effect, we're able to create the illusion that guests are swimming faster and deeper underwater. Entering a large show scene with the animatronic version of the giant, we get to catch our breath with the spirit, creating a peaceful moment within the experience. Our vehicles slowly begin to sway as if they're in tune with the sound of our breaths. The guiding spirit's light begin to fade back, pulsing in time with the vehicle's movement. This moment of harmony with the giant allows us to transfer our energy back into the spirit. Having found his strength, the giant starts leading us to his home. En route, we spin into individual projection domes where guests get to race around the ocean. In the distance, the whalefall appears, lit by the bioluminescence of the creatures. Before unloading, guests turn onto a balcony that overlooks the whalefall. This post-showroom provides guests with the opportunity to learn more about the natural phenomenon known as the whalefall. Having this experience entirely indoors allows for the possibility of year-round operation, helping improve their ride portfolio to include more experiences that are better suited for the country's unpredictable climate. With TerraTopia currently closed during the winter months, this attraction could serve as a main draw as part of a new seasonal event, helping address the client's desired interest in boosting the theme park's attendance. On behalf of our entire team, thank you for taking the time to listen to our proposal. I'd like to give a special thanks to our incredible mentors Ben and Andre for their guidance and insights throughout this entire process. We'd also like to thank the NextGen Showcase for providing us with a platform and the resources to share our work within the wider industry.
That's really fun. I enjoyed that. So how are we all doing?
Congratulations.
So
Little breather again.
yeah, exactly. And that is the halfway mark.
That is very true.
So we've got 3 more great concepts to show you, and then we'll catch up on these questions. So next up is Chaii Entertainment.
Hello and welcome. We are Chaii Entertainment. Today, we would like to invite you to join us on an excursion to the open day of TerraTech Labs. But first, I would like to introduce you to our team and great mentors who have worked together on bringing this experience to you today. And now it's time to welcome you to TerraTech Labs. Your visit to TerraTech is very special as you're welcomed into the lab's open day. Our lab scientists, also known as the TerraTech Trailblazers, are opening up their biomimicry lab campus so you can experiment and be a real TerraTech Trailblazer yourself. TerraTech was founded by Dr. Lilienthal, the head of the TerraTech Trailblazers. She and her sidekick Goggles love to discover the beauty of nature and animals and translate their powers and strengths into inventions and materials to create a better and sustainable future. Here you can take a look at our area from above. All of the gray space is reserved for our back of house. The colorful parts are for the enjoyment of our guests. As you can see, the area has multiple waterfronts that guests can enjoy while visiting TerraTech Labs, as well as discovering small pathways and taking in their green and natural surroundings. You can find our dark ride in the top right corner. It has a footprint of 75 by 65 meters, but we'll talk more about that later. We are excited to take you on a tour through TerraTech Labs. Here you can see a small preview of what you can find within our area. In Expedition Pedal Pursuit, guests will go on a mission in Dr. Lilienthal's latest invention, the TerraTech Transporter. The vehicle is inspired by the shapes of the peregrine falcon, a bird so efficient and fast it can dive as swiftly as 390 kilometers per hour. That's nearly quadruple a cheetah's top speed, making this falcon the fastest animal in the world. Expedition Pedal Pursuit will make use of the Zero Advanced Dark Ride concept. This will add a whole new layer to our ride experience thanks to its 6 degrees of freedom and possibility for effects on the vehicle. Our ride has a capacity of up to 960 people per hour and offers a ride time of 4 minutes. When guests enter Expedition Pedal Pursuit, they will be briefed about their mission right before they step into their TerraTech Transporter in the garage. Here they will depart and go on their mission and taking Goggles with them by accident. After transporting, they will find themselves in a moonlit forest, enjoying their surroundings before going to their next location, the desert. As the guests are looking around for the red giant, they get sucked into a sandstorm where they will need to escape while spinning. Luckily, they get out just in time and end up underwater in a beautiful coral reef, entering a bioluminescent cave. During their journey, they can take in their surroundings and enjoy the beauty of nature. They also get to witness the clumsiness of Goggles as he is still on their mission with them, getting chased by bats and swimming past us in the coral reef. As guests exit the cave, they enter the lush jungle and see waterfalls, and they finally see it. The red giant, and of course, Goggles right next to it taking a picture of this memorable and important moment. After, it's time to return to the lab where Dr. Lilienthal is proudly waiting in your new office. You completed the mission and now you're officially a trailblazer. On the wall, you can already see your mission picture in a frame. After getting back to the unload station, you will be guided towards Goggles' garage by the friendly TerraTech Trailblazers that are operating the ride. All the guests will be exiting through this gift shop, which in the past really used to be an old maintenance bay. Now it's Trailblazer Supply Shop, where you can buy the photo you've taken on your mission. Next to that, you can also find the merchandise items that are perfect for new TerraTech Trailblazers. The merchandise offer includes various TerraTech Trailblazers accessories, as well as sustainable merchandise like a variety of native flower seeds to make sure that all of your guests will create more nature for the Trailblazers to research. When guests get hungry, they can head over to Grown and Grilled. This is the canteen of the Trailblazers located next to the waterfront. Inside, the guests can order a fresh wok meal or tasty burgers at the 2 different food counters. They can enjoy their food and maybe get a picture with Dr. Lilienthal in the meet and greet area. Guests can also choose to sit outside and enjoy the view on the water as well as the beautiful sounds of the leaf fountain on the peaceful terrace. Behind the plants is also a beautiful outside area for the event space overlooking the same waterfront. Heading over to the Trailblazer training facility that is located on another part of the area. The dome is a beacon to draw guests into the TerraTech Lab campus. It used to be the first part of Dr. Lilienthal's lab before expanding the area further into the modern and successful campus it is today. The facility houses various options for different ages and also for guests with disabilities, so that everyone can enjoy what it feels like to be a TerraTech Trailblazer. Like the butterfly color experiments, where guests will be able to discover how the structure on butterfly wings make their color change, or go to the Vehicle Invention Lab, where guests will be able to choose different shapes from animals and test who made the fastest vehicle. When guests exit the Playdome on the north side, they find themselves in the Trailblazer Training Playground, where children can extend their learn and play adventure. Parents can take a small break and take a seat while enjoying a cup of coffee from our honeycomb food cart. At TerraTech, we really value sustainability. We have created standards to make sure we can reduce waste, create energy from natural sources, and use sustainable building materials. For example, we are aiming to use as little packaging as possible in the products we offer by using refill points for drinks and reusable plates and cutlery in our restaurants. Next to that, our ride and show building has a green roof with solar panels to generate energy. Next to sustainability, we've also taken measures to create an area that is fun and enjoyable for everyone. We have play objects for people with disabilities, as well as making the ride accessible for them. As it's getting dark, the pathways are lighting up, and it's time for TerraTopia to close. We hope you're as excited as we are to one day visit the open day and meet Dr. Lilienthal, Goggles, and the rest of the TerraTech Trailblazers. On behalf of Chaii Entertainment, thank you for listening and joining us on a digital visit to TerraTech Labs.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what I love, is watching all of these ideas evolve. Every one of these teams started in one place and has made so much progress. It's also quite fun to see all the different responses to the same brief. Everybody got the same information. So on to our next team, ReverVision International.
This video is a documentation for our choices behind the schematic phase for the new land that is being developed for TerraTopia. We highly recommend that you visit the website for more information regarding both our blue sky and development phases of this project. ReverVision International presents Drakendorp. Drakendorp is a land of wonder and exploration, dedicated to learning about the unknown and how we can make the choices to celebrate the lesser-known creatures of the world. Nestled amid the rolling foothills and mountains of TerraTopia stands a small village known as Drakendorp. Once a rich village, known for its use of raw materials harvested from the neighbouring caves. Drakendorp, or Dragon Village, which is a direct translation to English, is a narrative based on a real Slovenian legend about an aquatic salamander called an olm, which was believed to look like a mythical dragon. We decided this was the perfect mascot for this expansion project, and we begin our narrative with the idea that harmful mining practices drained the water and pushed out wildlife that lived within the caves underneath Drakendorp. The dragon, or in this case the olm, then stood up for itself and the other creatures and pushed the miners out. This changed the way that the town treated its resources. There is a statue in the town square celebrating the dragon that has brought tourism to the area. Behold the map of Drakendorp. We have an event space, the market hall, the village garden, the guarded grotto, a restaurant. Drakengotten, Secrets of the Olms. Capture That, a retail store called Domin Vault, and The Quiet Place. We designed the master plan to specifically consider the ease of guest flow and accessibility while allowing for exploration of the land. A compact layout with a focus on natural elements, Drakendorp provides a lively transition through the park into the other lands with a central fountain located in the middle of the land, and two quieter areas on the perimeter edges, being the village garden and the quiet place, allowing for balance yet contrast against the other more busier areas of the land. Sightlines are considered throughout the land. The Dragon Fountain, the Guarded Grotto, and Dragongotten Mountain are the most memorable points and focal icons of the land. The retail shop is situated at the exits of both Drakengotten and Capture That, so that guests feed into the shop at the end of their ride, meaning we only need one shop for both attractions, therefore saving space and reducing staff numbers. Drakengotten Secrets of the Olms is an indoor water ride. Go on an expedition into the caves of TerraTopia and learn about the troubled history of the mine and how through the story of the dragon, the villagers have adapted their way of life through unthoughtful exploitation to living peacefully and fruitfully with the nature around them. As you explore, be sure to keep a lookout for the amazing wildlife still living within the granite walls and the breathtaking cave art preserved by these new, more careful exploration practices. The system we chose for this ride was the Muck Rocking Boat. The Muck Rocking Boat is an innovative ride system with a maximum vehicle capacity of 10 people with an expected 4 vehicles on the track while in operation. This gives us a theoretical hourly ride capacity of 588 guests per hour. This has a minimum height requirement of 1.1 meters, which allows for younger riders to experience this attraction. This system has the ability to have an underwater track, realistic side-to-side rocking in the water, and has a minimum turn radius of 2 meters, which means guests can experience the thrill of unexpected motions whilst on this attraction. The rocking boat system is ideal for this attraction due to its ability to take guests on an unexpected journey of discovery. Its features allow for misdirection, wet and dry environments, and incredibly adventurous moments throughout the ride. We would now like to show you our advert for the land.
Nestled amid the rolling foothills and mountains of TerraTopia stands a small village known as Drakendorp, filled with legend, mystery, and dragons. This quaint town seems to be keeping a secret. We invite you to take a trip inside Drakengotten, Secrets of the Olm. Will you discover the real truth behind the dragon myth? Come visit Drakendorp and its caves and see if you can help solve the mysteries that lie beneath the village surface.
Brilliant. Congratulations, everybody. And this was the lovely team that unfortunately had to change their ride system, but you wouldn't know it. Lots of good work put in. Well done, everybody. So, without further ado, Team 7, Thieves Creative.
Do you hear the birds chirping? The trees creaking? The rustling of bushes? Sounds like an ordinary forest, right? Wait, is that a giant tree stump? Welcome to Mosligan, a village deep in the woods of TerraTopia. It is hidden between 2 existing environments, the wetlands to the west and the mountains to the north, and is home to the Moslings. These cute creatures have inhabited these lands for centuries, living their lives in synergy with nature. Humans have only recently discovered their existence, and the Moslings are inviting us to their village with open arms. Moslings are never-seen-before creatures born from the earth. Stemming from trees, They vary in size and shape and wear organic patterns of moss. They are friendly at heart, curious, and creative. Although wise in the ways of nature, their playful and oblivious character can sometimes lead to some clumsy situations. Let's take a closer look at where they live. When guests start their journey into Mosslingen, they approach forgotten paths left to time. As they venture further, they stumble upon a small town square where mosslings have made their home within boulders and towering trees. An intertwining structure of fine root-like threads can be spotted throughout Mosslingen. This is a mycelium, a powerful network of fungi, and it plays an important part in Mosslingen's ecosystem and everywhere else in the world. The strands gather around a large decaying tree stump next to the town square. Deep below lies the central mycelium, Mosslingen's core, which holds the forest's nature in balance. Mosslingen covers a total surface of 14,500 square meters and features 2 food outlets, 2 retail locations, as well as a meet and greet spot. Secluded from the town square lies an interactive forest, which provides guests with a low-sensory environment to relax and learn about local ecosystems. The main visual draw is a giant tree stump covered in mushrooms called the Great Trunk. An adventure trail takes guests into the treetops and past the Great Trunk, giving them a view over the forest and the rest of TerraTopia. Underneath, a path guides guests into the hollow interior of the tree stump, where they discover countless mushroom threads leading to the central mycelium below. Here, guests can experience a bright and dazzling light show between decay and rebirth. And lastly, Mosslingen's main attraction is Mush, Mosslingen Underground Understand and Search House. This indoor tracked dark ride has a total size of 1,900 square meters and provides TerraTopia with an immersive, themed experience. It expands on Mosslingen's storyline and connects with the core message of the park. Mosslingen's design is quirky and playful, with luscious colours of vegetation contrasted by warm earth tones of ancient woods. Like here in the Mosslingen Mini Market, one of the retail outlets. Organic shapes and materials dominate the area and show off Mossling culture in balance with nature. Another big part of Mossling culture is food. In line with core Mossling beliefs, food offerings within Mosslingen are going to be plant-based, like here at the Shroom Stump Service, a quick service window location for hungry explorers on the go. Or if guests prefer a proper Mossling-style feast, they can indulge in local delicacies in the Dining Dugout, a table service restaurant that offers the chance to watch Mossling chefs prepare their signature dishes. Across Mosslingen, menus will offer plant-based meat alternatives primarily using mushroom protein. This not only ties in with the presence of mushroom growth in Mosslingen, but is also one step towards reaching TerraTopia's sustainability goals. Mosslingen's e-ticket attraction is Mush, a fast-paced, family-friendly experience with changing speeds through caverns and forests, filled with hilarious moments and an underlying educational message. It features a pre-show, 13 scenes, and a retail outlet at the attraction's exit. A separate accessible entrance, loading area, and vehicle are also provided to allow all guests to enjoy this experience. Carefully placed lighting effects, animatronics, and audio bring to life Mosslingen's underground and out-of-control forest, as well as an overrun Mosslingen town square. Mush invites guests to travel downwards into the caverns below Mosslingen, where curious Mosslings perform tasks and research on the local environment. In a pre-show, assistant Mosslings introduce guests to mycelia and its real-world powers to communicate across wide ranges, send nutrients, and spread through all manners of life. This is led by Moy Matling, the eccentric head of Mush. Moy announces a groundbreaking growth-stimulating formula to accelerate plant growth. They invite guests on a tour around the facility using their all-terrain lecture automobile, and guests are taken further into the caverns below as their journey begins. Welcome to Mush. Guests are shown what the Mosslings are up to underground as they try to understand the various curious oddities that fill their home, including the power of mycelia. Guests are taken into the presentation of Professor Moy's growth formula, in which a curious assistant immediately crashes into the formula. As it pours into the ground, guests exit the scene. Everything quickly goes wrong, as various tendrils of enlarged mycelia break through the wall. It's not safe here anymore, and Moy sends the guests down an emergency escape cavern that leads them outside. Guests find themselves in what seems to be the safety of the forest, but something's off. Over the horizon, gigantic mushrooms now tower in the sky. And even worse, guests are face to face with a formula-charged tree stump that has turned itself into a cannon. As it fires enlarged acorns across the forest, the guest's vehicle continues to dodge and weave itself to safety. Guests continue to be thrown into bizarre moments in a forest turned upside down by the effects of Moy's growth formula. During a dangerous encounter, a remorseful Moi gives guests access to an experimental reverse formula, which he now thinks can turn things back to what they once were. Guests make their way through a Mosligan town square overgrown with mysterious harmonizing mushrooms, which turns into an impromptu classic Mosligan jamboreeing shindig. But within one of the Mosling homes is a path back underground.